So one of the most important regions of this terracotta traditions of India is Gujarat. Because in different parts of Gujarat you find terracotta traditions. It's not just one. And we see Garcia tribes and also the Ambaji terracotta. So Garcia tribes terracotta, the Garcia people's terracotta. So these are Poshina motifs of Ambaji. Poshina or Ratanpur is a town in Poshina Taluka of Sabarkanda district of Gujarat. And it is located in the northernmost side of the Sabarkanda district. So Garcia tribes terracotta and Ambaji terracotta. Okay, you see the image. You find in the first look itself you understand the peculiarity or the common feature of this terracotta. And who are the people making this? So it's a potter who is making it. They make the terracotta sculptures using wheel. They shape different organs of horses or any animal they make using wheel. After making different parts of it, they fix it together. And certain parts they mold with their own hand. So who are the people who make these horses? In the northern Gujarat, there are two castes. The people of Variya and Gujar caste of North Gujarat make this pot. Apart from them, the Garcia tribals, the Garcia people also make this pot. So they are the people who make these horses, not pots, horses. So we saw these sculptures now. Who are making this? So the villagers who belong to the Variya caste and Gujar caste of North Gujarat, they make it. The potters who made these horses are the Variya and Gujar caste, and they sell the horses also to other people. Okay, they sell the horses to other people, but their main customers are the tribals, Variya and Gujar. These are the two castes who make the horses with clay, and also some of the tribals make the figures by themselves. Almost the same technique as that of the villagers. The making is not very different. The only difference is that when the villagers make the horse, that will be fired in a furnace. So the villagers fire the horse they make out of clay in a kiln or furnace. The tribals, when they make these forms, they remain unbaked. They don't bake it. In the north of Gujarat, the clay is very excellent for working on the wheels. And when they work on the wheels, they can make it hollow. You can look at the image and understand how they make it hollow. So the clay of North Gujarat, means in North Gujarat you find very excellent clay on which you can work on potter's wheel. So that's the reason why you find these figures in hollow form. So that's a practical reason for that horse being hollow. And why it is made? What is the purpose of making these figures? They make it as an offering. Okay, why do they make these clay horses? They are made for making, they are made for offering it in the temple. Offering to the deity. So the offering can be individual or collective. So offering can be by an individual person, or it can be collectively done by a particular village or a clan or a family. Okay, so it is made for offering. And for small offerings, they put for smaller offerings, they place the horse together with the wish and some other small goods like fruits and certain agricultural produces in the sanctuary. So when they have a small offering, they buy a horse, and along with this horse, they also put some kind of fruits or some other products of their work at the sanctuary. And if it is a bigger wish, normally they don't make it in advance, but afterwards, after making the offering, they wish the same, wish for something. Okay, if it is a very big thing that they want in their life, they make the offering first, and afterwards they make the wish. in front of the deity. So that is the purpose of making these horses. It's an offering, maybe individual or collective. And if it is a small offering, they put the offering of horse with the wish and also some other small goods like fruit or something. And if it is a bigger wish, they make the wish normally after the offering is made. How is the offering done? It's a ritualistic process. There is a ritual. So when they make the offering, many people join for the procession. The clay horse, which is made by the potter, is taken from the house of the potter in a procession. They follow a ritual. They follow some strict regulations for the ritual. So they all together go to the potter's house, and in a procession they bring the horse out of the potter's house. From the beginning of the order at the potter's house, they go and order for a horse at the potter's house, and until the offering is made, there are different processes, and during all the process they follow certain strict rules. So it is governed by strict rules. The entire process of this offering, starting from the commissioning or ordering of the horse at potter's house, and in the process of taking it in a procession to the sanctuary and the offering made there, all of them are governed by very strict rules. And the horses are made only for this special purpose. And after, once it is offered, they are all destroyed by, they don't manually destroy it, they don't actively destroy it, but it is left outdoor in the sun, it is in the wind, in the rain, that get destroyed by itself. So after it is offered, that is abandoned outside, and in sun, rain and wind, that is naturally destroyed. So it is made for a special purpose and it is not used repeatedly. They don't repeatedly use the same votive sculpture again. And Sabaskanda district of the village of Poshina in particular is also known for its votive figures. These figures are integral part of the rituals practiced by tribal communities like the Garasya Adivasis, and the terracotta horse is called Ghoda Dev. So the terracotta horse they call Ghoda Dev. And you must understand the significance of this ritual. The Ghoda Dev has special significance in the rituals and is considered as the messenger of God. The Ghoda Dev is the messenger of God according to their tradition. In many cultures you see that it is not only with terracotta tradition of Gujarat or the Garasya tribe. In many other traditions also, Ghoda remains a messenger. So Ghoda Dev, according to their tradition, is a messenger of God, is a messenger for gods. And the symbolic sacrifice of terracotta horses for fulfillment of wishes is common. And at some sites you can see scores of terracotta horses that have stood here for decades. So when you go to certain sites, in the beginning I showed you some images. You find scores of terracotta horses standing in rows. For decades it has been there, which was offered there long ago, years before. It was offered there. So it's a very significant part of their ritual. And the potters are usually called as kumbhars. And they make the various hollow parts of the terracotta horse on their wheels and then join them together. So they make the different parts of the terracotta horse or any other animal also. In some traditions you find different other animals also. So they make the hollow part of terracotta horse or other animals on wheels, and after that they join them together. And some parts which are not hollow, they are molded by hand and they add it to the grooves. So they put grooves on the terracotta molds which they make, and it is joined together with what is made in the that is made using the potter's wheel. These terracotta horses, elephants and other figures, they also are popular because it can be used to adorn houses or gardens or balconies. Okay, not only for ritual purpose today, they also became very popular also because they can be used for decorating houses or decorating gardens or some popular places. Okay, so it has been very popular nowadays.